Thank you very much. Distinguished delegates, esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any, good afternoon, good evening and good morning. I'm very pleased to be representing the International Maritime Organisation's Women in Maritime programme at today's Global Conference for Women in Maritime. IMO's gender program was initiated in 1988, which is 33 years ago. In fact, IMO was in the vanguard of United Nations specialised agencies that forged a global program known as the Integration of Women in the Maritime Sector. At that time, only a few maritime training institutions had opened their doors to female students. Since then, IMO's gender and capacity building program has helped put in place an institutional framework to incorporate a gender dimension into IMO's policies and procedures. There is ample evidence that investing in women is the most effective way to lift communities, companies, and even countries. The evidence is clear. Equality for women means progress for all. It's a fact that shipping has historically been a male-dominated industry, and that tradition runs long and deep and will continue to do so. However, through its gender and capacity building program, which as I said is now in its 33rd year, IMO is making a concerted effort to help the industry move forwards and to help women achieve a representation that is in keeping with the 21st century expectations. In placing the human element and capacity building high on its agenda, IMO recognises that the shipping industry must reach out to every sector of the community if it is to attract the very best people and pursue a maritime career. Gender equality is a key focus of the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The Sustainable Development Goals are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and improve the lives and prospects for everyone, everywhere. The UN describes gender equality as not only a fundamental human right, but a necessary foundation for a peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world. The UN further states that gender equality means that women and men and girls and boys enjoy the same rights, resources, opportunities, and protections. It does not require that girls and boys or women and men be the same or that they be treated exactly alike. Gender equality affects us all, and it's not just a woman's issue. Despite much effort and significant progress in many domains over the last decades, gender equality is still lagging behind in a rapidly changing world. Men and women may experience the day-to-day manifestations of these strains in their interactions, in their search for jobs and participation in the labour market, or in accessing credit, technology and assets as they continue to perform their socially ascribed roles. While some may benefit from new opportunities, many may continue with traditional gender roles and suffer from increased burdens and stress. Empowering women fuels thriving economies across the world. It spurs growth and development, and it benefits everyone working in the global maritime community in the drive towards safe, secure, clean, and sustainable shipping. As such, gender equality is at the heart of every initiative that IMO undertakes, and we are strongly committed to helping countries achieve their sustainable development goals. The slogan that underpins IMO's Women in Maritime program is training, visibility, recognition. Under this slogan, IMO designs its program activities to support the participation of women in both shore-based and seagoing roles, and we have had great success stories of women reaching leadership positions. Present in all IMO's gender initiatives both as key stakeholders and mentors, are the female graduates of the World Maritime University and the International Maritime Law Institute. Their presence as maritime administrators and decision makers has reinforced the impact that female role models have in encouraging new female recruits into the industry. IMO also supports the empowerment of women through gender-specific fellowships by facilitating access to high-level technical training for women in the maritime sector, particularly in developing countries. We also support training on aids to navigation and women in port management and port security every year. IMO works with various maritime stakeholders to foster an environment in which women are identified and selected for career development opportunities in maritime administrations, ports, and maritime training institutes. Visibility and recognition are also critical to the success of achieving gender equality. IMO continues to seek opportunities to raise awareness of the importance of gender equality and to highlight the important yet underutilised contribution of women within the maritime sector. In 2019, IMO dedicated the World Maritime Day theme to empowering women in the maritime community. This is an important example of shining the light on women in maritime and encouraging the maritime sector to have more open conversations and dialogue about the issues surrounding gender equality in the maritime sector. To ensure firm action beyond 2019, IMO approved an Assembly resolution on preserving the legacy of the World Maritime theme for 2019 and achieving a barrier-free working environment for women in the maritime sector. IMO's successful campaign to promote women in maritime also includes supporting the establishment of 8 regional women in maritime associations covering more than 150 countries and dependent territories. These associations provide a springboard for developing regional training opportunities to match the specific needs and requirements of women, taking into account the socio-cultural elements of their particular location. Access to these regional networks have provided members with a platform to discuss a number of issues, not just about gender, but also technical issues, to share experiences, lessons learned, and could go a long way to bridging the gap and narrowing some of the institutional barriers and cultural stigma that women who enter the maritime industry face. Today, IMO's Women in Maritime Gender Program is going strong. Under the IMO auspices, 8 regional maritime associations for women have been established in Africa, the Arab states, Asia, the Caribbean, Latin America, and the Pacific. In 2020, the impact of COVID, and also in 2021, has been harshly felt by the IMO. The Women in Maritime program activities were able to continue using online delivery methods where possible in a scaled back approach. This included some training courses, virtual conferences, webinars, strategic developments, and social media campaigns and mentorship. The challenges of COVID have made us rethink the best strategies for developing with impact and continuing to add value for the program participants, as well as our key partners in the regions in the future. 2021 saw a strong focus on strengthening strategic partnerships with the United Nations system and other regional partners to help achieve these important goals. Information sharing, additional regional WEMAs, and continued delivery of program activities under the IMO resolution did continue to some extent. There are 2 outcomes that IMO is particularly proud of. Firstly, the IMO and WISTA International have launched the Women in Maritime Survey to examine the proportion and distribution of women working in the maritime sector. The survey will provide crucial baseline data to understand more about the global profile and numbers of women in the maritime sector, which will allow us to develop targeted support for women to help them achieve their career goals. This work is ongoing, and we are expecting to provide preliminary analysis of the findings soon, which will be made public. Secondly, the IMO Council made a recent decision in the last month to endorse an IMO International Women in Maritime Day every year on the 18th of May. We are proud to have this dedicated day to celebrate the achievements of women in the maritime sector and continue to recognise and raise awareness of the importance of women and related maritime issues. So what's next? The goal of the program is to make a concerted effort to take women into the next phase of their careers, from junior and middle management into senior management, breaking through the glass ceiling and building on the successes of the foundations of the program laid over the last 30 years. The idea is to focus on mentoring, training, fellowships, and scholarships focused on leadership to get women into the engine room, bridges, and boardrooms. To move the gender conversation away from women speaking to women about women's issues, because gender is an issue for everyone and it affects everyone. The more we can involve men in the conversation, the better outcomes we will achieve. As this audience knows, networking, mentoring, and peer support is critical for everyone in maritime, but especially when it comes to ensuring diversity at the highest levels. IMO is very much committed to women in the maritime agenda. I'm honoured to be invited to address this important event and pledge my ongoing support on behalf of IMO to promote female leaders and to the advancement of gender equality throughout the maritime sector. Let us continue all to be change makers and to create an inclusive and enabling maritime community for everyone. My hope is that in the future, we will see more success stories like the one that you can see on the screen from our inspiring women in the maritime sector. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.